Hi, I'm Nick Newmont, astrologer, numerologist, and clinical hypnotherapist in Agora Hills, California. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Mercury Retrograde and what I have termed astrological paranoia. In life, there are decisions that we have to make throughout the year, and we can't always rely on the influence of astrology as to favorable or disfavorable times to make a decision. And I've noticed through the years that there is this building paranoia about Mercury retrograde as opposed to the other planets that go retrograde also. And the general public has become informed and at times misinformed about the meaning of these retrogrades and how they affect their life. The planet Mercury, ironically, rules common sense and intellect along with communication. So to go into paranoia and to lose your mind over Mercury retrograde is kind of counterintuitive or counterproductive to what that planet represents. And one thing we have to understand, though, is what is retrograde action when it comes to astrology? Well, it's really an astronomical event that has astrological effects. So when a planet is retrograde, first of all, we understand that a planet can't really go backwards. It's just the planet itself has gone into a very slow orbit as it rounds the sun in relationship to the other planets. Seemingly, it's going backwards. You're on a train going very fast on this track. On a parallel track, another train is going much slower, and when you look at that train, it looks like it's going backwards. Well, planets don't go backwards. So the effect of a retrograde planet simply means it has the reverse effect of how it usually affects us. Mercury, intellect, communication, contracts, partnerships, electronics, all situations that we want to tread lightly around, in that time period. Mercury is retrograde 3 times a year. It's retrograde for 3 weeks at a time. In the 3 weeks that it's definitely retrograde, that's called the station period. The 3 weeks prior is the shadow period, and the week after is another shadow period where it's dissipating or it's just being cleaned up. So for 3 times a year, with the effect of 7 weeks at a time, or 21 weeks, we are feeling this effect of Mercury retrograde. Now, if we allowed ourselves to become paranoid and not make any decisions for 21 weeks, we wouldn't get a lot done, would we? So we have to use these periods to our benefit. Like, for instance, I recommend highly, when it comes to the stock market, don't be so jumpy or jump to conclusions during Mercury retrograde, because ironically, when you look at the time when Mercury is about to go retrograde and the time when Mercury is finishing, even though the stock market may jump a bit, there's not a lot of change in that time. So we don't want to overreact when Mercury is retrograde in the stock market. Contracts come up a lot. In fact, I've actually been asked, can I sign a contract in Mercury retrograde? And as long as the determining factors and the negotiations have transpired before retrograde, all that's been agreed upon. This is the part that I really want everyone to remember. The act of putting pen to paper in Mercury retrograde is actually irrelevant as long as there's no typos, everyone is clean and clear on the agreement and the negotiations. So putting pen to paper is just finalizing. It's okay to finalize during Mercury retrograde, but what you don't want to do is get into the back and forth of the he said, she said, because communication glitches can occur in Mercury retrograde. And you notice I said they can. I didn't say they definitely will. So follow-up is necessary. Text, email, voicemail. Make sure the other party got your message. Make sure they understood your message. And you also make sure you've understood their message. Now at this point, I want to remind everyone that I'm going to continue with these videos. I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you'd like more information and updates, or if you need a deeper personal reading, then contact me privately. Again, I'm Nick Newmont, astrologer, numerologist, and hypnotherapist in Agora Hills, saying I'll see you next time. Thank you.